What's good, YouTube? This video is about how to deal with ungrateful users and how to spot a user. People are fickle. They love you today and they hate you tomorrow. I know I'm great because I decide to be, not because they say I am. Avoid those who attach your validation to contingencies or hurdles they place in front of you. Stay away from those who love you situationally and conditionally. If done consistently, you'll rid yourself of many ungrateful users in your lifetime. You know what's crazy? You can do 1,000 things for a person, and they'll remember the one thing you didn't do. You can say yes 100 times in a row, and all they'll remember is the one no. The one time you refused a request. People kill me with their entitlement. Avoid those who feel like just because you've done a thing for them that you must continue to do that same thing to be a part of their lives, or to be accepted by them. We often talk so badly about users, but then perpetuate the behaviors that makes us useful to those types, that makes us a target to those types. When we get into family and relationship structures that exhaust us with obligations that we would otherwise not be responsible for, it becomes easy to start considering ourselves victims. And at times we are, but many times not so much. Most users aren't as aggressive as we've been taught they are. They're usually just opportunists. They just make use of a person's good nature and need for acceptance. Because they know, like many of us do, there are those who will pay almost any price to be loved. People who don't even realize that that's what they're doing. Purchasing love through gifts and favors. Purchasing acceptance. Armed with that knowledge, many people will offer to sell you their acceptance at a price. Oftentimes, people purchase acceptance and love by saying yes to a myriad of things that they should probably be saying no to. In that case, they aren't victims. Their experience is the price they pay for lacking judgment and being very unaware of themselves. Many ungrateful users are so self-absorbed that when you finally say no or require something in return from them, they try to flip out like they're the ones who've been giving, like they're the ones who've been extending themselves. They act as if saying no or requiring anything back from them is mistreating them. I'm gonna say this plain. Don't let no ungrateful son of a bitch guilt you into a life of servitude. Some people will try to use your emotions or sympathy to try to bind you. Others will dangle their allegiance as a reward for your actions and service. And then there are others who may make use of our nature as humans to be conflict avoidant. They may also play on your good nature to build in your mind a responsibility to take care of them and all their requests. Once you figure out what's going on, don't submit. And even if you have in the past, don't try to convince yourself that you're doing an absurd amount of things for them because you want to. You're doing it because they want you to. Don't submit to your fear of loneliness because breaking bonds can be a very scary but necessary evil. Here's a little history lesson. Many slaves volunteered to stay in bondage after the Emancipation Proclamation, out of fear of what the future held. The conflicts and troubles of being free were more intimidating than remaining in service to slave masters who saw them as less than human. Many of us develop a sort of Stockholm syndrome and refuse to break away from our users and our abusers. Don't let the fear of rejection remove from you your ability to reject others or their requests. The best thing you can do if you've identified a user around you is to start saying no. Before you do, understand that every tactic in the book of users and narcissism will be used to try to sway you back into their grasp, back under their control. Resist the urge to be conflict avoidant and stuff yourself back into the narrow box they have built for you. Most users and narcissistic personalities will either flee from you or stop making requests once they realize that you are no longer of service to them. Saying no to them can restore a balance in the relationship, or cut the relationship off completely, which is sometimes more appropriate. I suppose it's important to mention that sometimes when you meet people, they may just be in a needy or a low season. That happens. Users, however, have a general pattern of consistent neediness, and it usually goes back for as long as you've known them. Many times they'll try to employ different people for different things as to not wear out their welcome with one person, and to also not draw resentment unto themselves. You may also notice them by how and why they fall out with people. It's usually because one of their needs haven't been supplied, or someone wasn't there for them. Their love language, or how they receive love, is often favors and gift giving. Even so, the gifts they give are often much smaller than the gifts they hope to receive. The favors they do are much smaller in comparison to the favors they hope to receive. With that said, if you've identified a user, don't accept anything from them that you wouldn't want to give back tenfold, because they keep count and they often miscount what's owed to them. Let them go. Replace them with people who love without cause or no one, because even solitude is better than manipulation-induced servitude. I think I've made my point for now. Thanks for watching. Follow me at KidPick24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.